Bueno, me van a ver a mí así, saltando de idioma en idioma. Perdónenme si se me cruzan por ahí los chicotes. Pero nada, bienvenidos. Yo soy Vivi Rojas. Ya, bueno, la mayoría de ustedes me imagino que me conoce. Soy quien está detrás de personalbranding.pe, esta academia, esta comunidad digital que está enfocada en desarrollar habilidades de empleabilidad para el futuro, básicamente, pero también esto involucra, por supuesto, desarrollar perfiles globales, y todo, bueno, las habilidades y las mentalidades que necesitamos para construir realmente futuros internacionales y globales, ¿no? En esta edición de Erasmus Mundus Latam Talks estamos de nuevo contando con la participación estratégica de la Unión Europea en Perú. Nos apoya en cuanto a la difusión de estas oportunidades excelentes en Europa. Bueno, ya venimos años con la Unión Europea, pero ya somos como amigos, más que nada. Y aquí está con nosotros Emiliano Cepeda. Yo quiero darle un espacio a Emiliano para que pueda dar la bienvenida también. Él es el representante, él está encargado de los programas Erasmus Mundus y Erasmus Plus en la Unión Europea. Ahorita les voy a contar un poquito más de lo que hace. Y nada, te cedo la palabra, Emiliano, para que puedas darles la bienvenida a los chicos
muchas gracias.
De los países.
Muchas gracias, Viviana, en primer lugar por organizar este importante espacio de difusión de las oportunidades en el marco de las becas Erasmus Mundus. En este caso, esta primera charla sobre el Cluster 1, vinculado a educación. También muchas gracias a las representantes de los programas de MARIHE, MISEI y Flourish en esta ocasión por tener, por darse un tiempo de poder participar en esta edición. Mi nombre es Emiliano Cepeda, soy gestor de proyectos en la delegación de la Unión Europea en Perú. Estoy encargado de la difusión, orientación y, bueno, encargado en general del programa Erasmus Plus acá en Perú. Entonces les doy la bienvenida a tanto los que están conectados desde Perú como aquellos que están desde América Latina y de otras partes del mundo, como mencionó Viviana. En este caso, a manera general, el programa Erasmus Plus abarca múltiples áreas. Es el programa de la Unión Europea en el ámbito de la educación, la formación, la juventud y el deporte. Entonces abarca tanto movilidad académica como intercambios de pregrado, por ejemplo, o cooperación institucional entre asociaciones de universidades, proyectos de desarrollo de capacidades, entre otros. Pero en este caso estamos presentando las becas Erasmus Mundus, que son bastante beneficiosas para todo el pueblo peruano y, bueno, para los ciudadanos interesados en acceder a estas becas en primer lugar. Son becas bastante integrales. Este año tuvimos la oportunidad de despedir a 38 peruanos que están ahora mismo empezando sus maestrías en Europa.
Rompimos
Entonces,
récord, ¿verdad? Rompimos récord este año.
Sí, es la mayor cantidad en la última década. Más de 200 peruanos se han beneficiado de este programa en la última década. Entonces es una gran oportunidad de difundir aún más y de manera personalizada las oportunidades que abarcan este tipo de becas y los programas específicos en las diferentes áreas en estas ediciones de Erasmus Mundus Latam Talks. Entonces les doy la bienvenida de parte de la delegación de la Unión Europea y muchas gracias nuevamente por este importante espacio.
Gracias, Emiliano. Uy, se me apagó la cámara, no importa, me escucharán. Mientras ahí se arregla mi cámara. Bueno, gracias, Emiliano, por las palabras que has dado. Y bueno, siempre estamos felices de mantener esta amistad, esta colaboración, que es más amistad que colaboración ahorita ya con la delegación de la Unión Europea. Y nada, felices de poder seguir aportando a que esas oportunidades lleguen a más personas de Latinoamérica, de Perú y pues de todo el mundo en realidad, porque al final nos juntamos desde todos lados del mundo en esos espacios. Un espacio de internacionalización súper interesante. Vale. Bueno, bienvenidos. Welcome everybody to this first edition of the Erasmus Mundus Latam Talks 2025 on the education cluster. Today we are receiving program representatives from MARIHE and from MISEI who are here with us at the moment. But first of all, primero que nada, ahora voy a pasar a español. Quiero contaros un poquito de cómo inició toda esta historia, esta aventura que en la cual estamos inmersos hoy día, que nació por algo de simple curiosidad, ni siquiera nació con una intención de, eso se va a volver una academia, ¿verdad? Vamos a crear un IA Tutor, no, para nada. Esto inició con un video de YouTube que yo hice en el 2020, y es ahí la importancia de que ustedes sigan su curiosidad, que es algo que siempre le digo a mis alumnos y a las personas con las que tengo la suerte de intercambiar conocimientos. Esto inició por simple curiosidad, por un video que yo hice en el 2020, hace, ya bueno, son unos 5 años, compartiendo mi experiencia de Erasmus Mundus, ¿no? O sea, en el momento cuando me tocó postular, allá por el 2018, había muy poca información de estos programas, muy poca información de estos programas, y básicamente, o sea, muy poca información liberalizada, digamos, ¿no? Obviamente había las webs oficiales, pero que a veces eran un poquito difíciles de entender, o que no estaban demasiado accesibles. Entonces, me pareció a mí algo súper chévere para dar a la comunidad el compartir mi experiencia para poder hacer más fácil el camino de otros, ¿no? Entonces, así como creé este video, y pues ese video explotó, y desde ahí pues pasaron un montón de cosas bien interesantes. Creamos la comunidad Erasmus Mundus Latinoamérica, comenzamos la colaboración con la Unión Europea, y desde ese video hasta el día de hoy hemos crecido una comunidad de más de 130.000 personas en 60 países. Entonces, definitivamente todo eso proliferó. Así que el mensaje de esto es: sigan su curiosidad, que de repente les pueden pasar cosas así. Pero además es chévere ver en retrospectiva el trabajo que se ha venido haciendo en todos estos años, ¿no? Aquí, bueno, son momentos que hemos compartido con la comunidad en Lima, con la gente que se va de beca ya a Europa en las ceremonias de despedida, en la delegación de la Unión Europea en Lima. Y por supuesto, el más chévere de todo esto son los mensajes de cuando ustedes ganan las becas, ¿no? Estos espacios sirven para eso, para compartir, y eso es lo más gratificante de todo, ¿no? También les tengo una novedad: la academia ha tenido un upgrade y ya tenemos IA Tutor. Ya me puse en IA, ya hice mi versión en IA, me pueden ver ahí a Beca. Todavía no lo pueden comprar, todavía no pueden acceder a ella, pero va a estar este jueves ya lista. Estamos haciendo las últimas pruebas con los estudiantes, pero ya estamos, después de mucho prototipar y de mucho testing, hemos llegado a una solución chévere. Así que ya, we have a startup success story of MARIHE, Sina, then we can talk about this in the program. Because actually we have developed this with Krishan. Krishan, who is also a MARIHE graduate, has been the one to develop Beca. So we are now an official MARIHE entrepreneurial team. So that's going to be interesting. Claro, o sea, parte de mi equipo es Krishan, y Krishan es un graduado también de MARIHE, ¿no? Entonces eso me parece súper chévere como ejemplo de emprendimiento generado a través de Erasmus Mundus. También es algo de lo que podamos hablar más adelante. Bueno, ya después les contaré sobre Beca, pero ese era el chisme que les quería decir. En esta ocasión vamos a estar, pues nada, ya oficialmente una emprendedora tecnológica. Ahora sí, ya no tengo excusa para decir que no. Pero sí, bueno, pronto más noticias sobre esto. Ahora sí, pasamos a los programas de hoy. Someone was asking if the meeting will be in English. Yes, the meeting will be in English and Spanish, because we have people that are from both languages. And most of our audience is from Latin America. It's great that you are coming here as well, but we have to take that into account. So I will be exchanging the languages from English to Spanish. This will be a very international and multicultural meeting. Okay, so the agenda comes as it comes. The first program to present will be MARIHE. Then we'll have Sina and we'll have Diana here with us. They are both representatives of the program. And then we have MISEI. We have here Tami, and we have as well Alice, that are coming from the program. Unfortunately, the Flourish program, I think they won't be able to make it. I hope maybe they come at the end, but they have had some misalignments with time last minute that we didn't have into account before. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, it doesn't matter, because we can anyways schedule an interview with them, because they are always very willing to share information about their programs as well. So Without further ado, I give the space to Sina from MARIHE and to Diana so that they can present us the program. Las becas de MARIHE este año también van a estar recibiendo nuevos becarios, así que atentos, hay un montón de gente interesada en MARIHE.
Great, thank you for having us here, Viviana.
Yes,
and
nice to
I have to admit, you're also a MARIHE graduate, so we have quite a big community here of our MARIHE alumni, or as we call it, the MARIHE family. And Diane, thanks for supporting me to bring in the student perspective. That's always great working with both of you and, of course, all the other students. I'm at the moment the academic director of MARIHE. I'm trying to share my screen with you to start from the beginning. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the program, about the application process, about everything that's new for everyone who wants to apply. And I hope to read a lot of applications from you guys in the near future. I'm sharing my screen. Let's see if that worked. It seems to work. I can see it. Can you all see it? Great. So MARIHE stands for Master in Research and Innovation in Higher Education. We are now in the third funding cycle. I brought some facts to you. Let's see how that goes. Yes, we are preparing higher education, research and innovation for the future. And actually, we do believe that we need ambitious and skilled managers, analysts, and researchers and policymakers to make this change happen. Just some facts about MARIHE. We are unique. We are global, as probably most of the master programs in the Erasmus Mundus, but we are also global concerning our partners. Of course, we are, as every other program, highly selected. We were already established in 2012. So quite a long time. We are starting this year with our 10th cohort, and everyone who would apply this year would become probably part of our 11th cohort. It's a 120 ECTS Erasmus Mundus program. It's 4 semesters, so 2 years. We have a student intake once a year. We have a mandatory internship of a minimum of 8 weeks, 2 specialization options, and here we are getting global in Asia, so you could either go to China or India, and we now have 5 specialization options in Europe. That would be Austria, Germany, Finland, Hungary, or Portugal. And for everyone who participates, we have a graduation rate of nearly 100%. So if you start a program, we will make sure that we set you up for success. Where can you study, or what are our mobility paths? So everyone who's starting the program will start with me and my team in Austria. In the second semester, you will all move to Finland. In the third semester, you will have the specializations and the internship. So first you have the internship. You can choose from our partners or find an own one that's worldwide, that's also in person. Then you will move to Asia, so either China or India. Then you will come back to Europe. So you will go back to Austria, Finland, or you can do the specialization in Germany, Hungary, or Portugal. And in your 4th semester, you will write your master thesis in one of the chosen specializations. We had some confusions earlier on about this. So if you have, for example, chosen China and Finland for your specializations, you can think about doing your specialization either in China or Finland. If you've chosen, for example, India or Portugal, you can choose between India and Portugal, but you need to have spent some time there before. Our partners are my university, the University for Continuing Education, KREMS in Finland. We have Tampere University, and you can see here along the specialization. So at my place, we do institutional research. If you would go back to Finland, you would do research management and digital transformation. If you would opt for the specialization in China, you would focus on leadership and management. If you would opt for Hungary, your focus would be on learning and teaching. If you opt for Portugal, and that's the new specialization that we're running with this cohort the first time, you would do policy analysis. And in Asia, you have either the option to do educational planning and development in China, or sustainable education and social entrepreneurship in India. And as you've already heard, we have some entrepreneurs among our alumni. And here's just a very short selection of internships hosts we had. So a question that students often ask, is there the danger of not getting an internship place? No, you're not running into danger. You will apply for your internship, but we have a long list of cooperation partners who are always happy to welcome our students for the internship, and we make sure you get a place. If you have, of course, a place that would fit you perfectly and you haven't worked there before, we can discuss this in the course. Our graduates, you have already heard that we have startups and self-employments, and thank you for last year's presentation where you made me aware that actually we do have self-employed and startups among our universities. A lot of our graduates end up working in higher education institutions, in research-intensive institutions, in government agencies. We have a lot of them working in the area of consultancy, in international or supranational organizations like the EU, and also in non-tertiary institutions. So you see we have a broad variety where our students work. Good news is more than 20% of our graduates continue with a PhD at a highly recognized PhD program across the globe. More than 75% of alumni find employment within 6 months after graduation. So that means our students who graduated now, we assume next year this time they will all have found a good employment. And 90% of our alumni remain professionally engaged in topics covered in the MARIHE program. So you most probably will work in this area of interest. Who can apply? And I think that's interesting for most of them. We often get the question, is there a first degree or specialization I would have to have? And we are very open because we think higher education and research should be open to all disciplines. So we don't have any disciplinary priorities. So whatever you have studied, from education to engineering to law, you can apply. What you would need to have is at least a bachelor degree issued by a university, quantified at 3 years of study full-time. That would correspond to 180 ECTS. Please be aware that we cannot recognize cumulative achievements like a 2-year bachelor or a 2-year master program for admission. Of course, if you're not coming from Europe, you might not have ECTS points, but we are really looking for 3-year full-time study here. You should, of course, show a strong motivation and interest in research and innovation in higher education, because that keeps you on track and makes the program interesting for you. And of course, you need to have sufficient knowledge of English for academic purposes. We have a couple of English language requirements. You can find them on our website, and unfortunately, we cannot make exceptions. There are few exceptions we can make. They were clearly stated. Otherwise, due to the huge consortium, we need to have those program by here. How to apply? We only accept online applications, and we have a new application system that will be launched this year. So that's also why the application period is not open yet, because we are still working to setting it up. It will be evaluato, and it will be more user-friendly and should be easier accessible for you, and it should make our communication with all the applicants easier. So we're still setting it up, and we hope to go online by the end of this month. The next application deadline is the 23rd of November, as you can see on the slide. We will have the next intake in October 2026. We have no study fee for self-funded students. Here, a disclaimer, we might introduce a small administrative fee for self-funded students to be paid in front, but it will be really a small fee. And of course, if you have questions, you can always reach out to us via our email address. What would we ask for an application? And if you're already thinking about applying now, we know the current information is not yet online on our internet website. We are also setting up a new website. So you see, we are in the process of changing a lot, but the requirements will remain the same. We will have a little bit of a different review process, but you can already start thinking about the things we need. So you will have to still fill in an application form. That's rather straightforward. A copy of a passport. Please make sure that it's valid. Your CV. Please use the Europass format, so that's something you can already prepare now. A lot of motivation, the requirements for this don't change, so the template might change, but you can still start thinking about it. We, of course, need your university diplomas and degree certificates, your transcript of records. Both should be translated into English. We need, of course, your English proficiency proof. We would like to have 2 letters of recommendation, an essay, and in the second application stage, a short video. And we would like to ask you not to submit a photo because we want to make it as even and non-judgmental, the first step. So we don't want to see you in the first step. That's also why you would submit the video later on. So if you want to start already now with preparing your application, the documents remain the same. Of course, there will be new templates, but the content-wise, there is no change. Yeah. That's a very short overview, so I'm happy about any questions. But first, I want to hand in over to Daya to give you some insights into, the student experience. And I'm trying to stop sharing.
Vivi, do I do it in English or Spanish?
I think we can do it in English, maybe, just to be friendly with the people who's not speaking Spanish, and I guess most of our Spanish speakers are speaking English, so right. I think it should be,
Thank you. So Sina has said everything very beautifully, like she has explained everything very well. First of all, my name is Dayana. I am an alumni of MARIHE. I did my program in between 2021 and 2023. I am originally from Bogota, Colombia, but I live and work in Hungary, Budapest specifically, a job that I got thanks to all of the knowledge I got in MARIHE. So I am one of those successful alumni who had the chance to find a job thanks to all of the knowledge and the skills and everything that MARIHE program provided me with. So what can I say? This is a high mobility program, so you will get to travel a lot. A lot is a lot. You will have the chance to meet people from all over the globe. For instance, in my cohort, we were 22 students coming from 17 or 18 different countries. So we got a hint of all the globe, basically people from Asia, from Latin America, North America, Africa, Europe as well. So it was a very diverse cohort. And as Europe is smaller, let's say size-wise compared to Latin America, so we had the chance to travel a lot around. The transportation here is very friendly and it is very safe to travel around. So this is also an opportunity apart from the academic knowledge that you get. I know many people out there like to travel, so this is also the chance to do it. Like Erasmus Mundus gives you that chance to do it. And yes, I think this is all I can say for now. And feel free to ask any questions that you have.
Sí, ahora vamos a abrir espacio para preguntas. Vamos a abrir 10 minutitos para preguntas. Así que pueden levantar la mano quienes tengan preguntas. Igual en el chat están poniendo algunas preguntas. También vamos a ir recopilando eso. Entonces, a ver, vamos primero con Alejandra.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for these meetings. Thank you, Viviana, Sina, Diana. I wanted to ask Diana, how did this master shape your professional journey? Like, what opportunities did it allow you to achieve, and how is it going in jobs? Yes.
Okay, so this program helped me shape my professional career in many ways. Luckily, before I came here, I had already got some years of experience. So in Colombia, I got like 10 plus years of working experience. So MARIHE was like a complementary, let's say, plug-in to that. But apart from that, I got a lot of knowledge into the higher education landscape, not only how it is done here in Europe, but also around the globe, because this is a global program. So I got a hint of higher education in the Americas, in Asia, of course, in Europe, a bit of Australia. And all of those skills have helped me in my job, because I work in a university here in Hungary, and many of the discussions that I have are around higher education. So I think the curriculum is very well tailored in topics regarding higher education, which are trendy and which are needed in the higher education landscape. So for example, one day I can talk about soft skills, and in another meeting I can talk about lifelong learning. And then we talk about European qualifications framework, and then we go to how they do things in Asia, in China, etc. So MARIHE does allow you to get all that knowledge, and that has contributed very nicely to my professional career.
Thank you so much.
Great. No, but I also, I think MARIHE has changed the life of everyone who has been inside MARIHE. I can testify on that too. Okay, do we have more questions on the raising hand? Otherwise, I will read the ones from the chat. Okay, Marta.
Hi. Do we guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
My question is mainly for Diana, and I wanted to ask, in her very own personal experience applying for MARIHE, how hard that was in terms of how competitive the program is, and how a little bit of, if you care to explain a little bit of how your process applying for it began, specifically coming from Colombia, and how that process was. So yeah, I'm just curious about not specifically the requirements, but how is the process? How was your experience? Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Marta. So yeah, as you said, from a very personal perspective, I will answer this question, because perhaps for Vivi it was different, and for any other Erasmus Mundus scholar it was different. So in my personal case, before applying for an Erasmus Mundus scholarship, I had applied to other scholarships like Fulbright and other scholarships in other countries. And my conclusion at that point, before I got to know Erasmus Mundus, was that I hadn't dedicated enough time to have a strong application. So I think this requires time and planning. That's why Vivi has these very nice courses in which she gives you the steps and the hints for you to actually get the scholarship, because it is very competitive. So you have to dedicate quite a lot of time if you really want to get the scholarship, to write your letter of motivation. And one thing that I recommend, because sometimes I do proofreading works of people who are applying to these programs or anywhere else, is that you start writing your letter and you give it some time, as we would say in Spanish, la dejan allá como en reposo, en remojo por un tiempo. So you leave it there for a while, and then you go back to it, because perhaps some ideas have changed, so you have the time to edit it. In my personal case, I had some co-workers, colleagues, and friends who went over my letter, and so I collected all of their feedback, and I think it was a very well-built letter. And yeah, and I think it was, otherwise I wouldn't be here. And then, for instance, for the video part, because for MARIHE you have to make a video, you can also dedicate some time to draft what you want to say before you are in front of the camera. So that will help you, put your ideas together in a better way. And we also had to write an essay. There is a prompt question, like MARIHE asks you to write the essay based on a question. So same thing. Take some time to write the essay, and if you have people who can go over it, review it, give you recommendations, it would be nice. So don't rush with the application. Take your time. I started preparing perhaps 8 months or 6 months before they opened the call, and then I submitted everything, and I was very confident that I would get the scholarship, and I did. Thankfully, it was my first time applying, and I got it, because I dedicated plenty of time. So that's my recommendation. Maybe I sounded repetitive, but I want to emphasize that you do need to do it very carefully, very well prepared, and yeah, very nicely with all of your motivation.
Yes, and what I also always recommend is that you have to be aware of where are you standing in the competition, right? Because as Diana said, this is a very competitive scholarship, and particularly MARIHE is a very competitive program. So it's very popular. A lot of people want to go into MARIHE. It's great. We cannot blame you, of course. But then you have to be aware that you are competing with with excellent people. Like the candidates are excellent candidates. So you have to become, if you are not, I mean, we are all excellent persons, but we, like, from in an objective perspective of a competition, we have to aim for, be as competitive as we can in the global environment, right? So then it's important that you're aware where you're standing, so you can take the actions in order to get the best out of your experience and your profile and your motivation, right? And if you're not there yet in the competition, then you can always do more things and apply strategies to improve that profile of yours. Okay, so it's important. It's not only time, but as well awareness of where you're standing and what you can do to improve your competitivity. Let's say this in this case. Okay.
I can add something to this as well from a review perspective. So
of course,
don't only think about what makes you the best, but be genuine. We want to get to know you. We want to get to know your story. We don't want to hear a story that could be from everyone. We want to learn about you and your journey. Of course, show us all the skills you have and why you're the best and excellent candidate for our program. But please be yourself.
One of the most important parts as well, to have your own, I think we can talk about this because we are among friends. So not ChatGPT letters, because this is very important for me to mention you. Like, seriously, when you write something with ChatGPT and that you let ChatGPT write it, it's so evident. What can Sina tell us about that?
Yes. I would expect, I figured that there were some letters with ChatGPT, and I personally, and I talked to a lot of reviewers, we prefer those who are not written by ChatGPT. Yes. We nowadays also have a form where you can indicate how you used AI, and we know you're all using it, and that's fine if you do it for language polishing, for supporting your structure, but we want, and even more as AI comes in, we want to hear your personal story, and we want to have a story that convinces us that you will succeed in the program, that you will fit to the cohort, and that you will make a candidate that's really worthwhile for the group, not only for the program. And we want to set you all up for success. So please show us who you are, what you want, what your aims are, and what your past has contributed to you being what you are. I, for example, once read a letter, a reference letter, and most often they were generic, but that letter was so touching to me, and I just really knew there was a person extremely convinced about the candidate, really talking for this candidate, and I really felt this person standing in front of me, really promoting the person, not using AI or ChatGPT. So there are those stories, and you can read them, and you can, I think, in a lot of cases, you can see it. And that's the thing that makes your application special, that makes you stand out of all the other applications. So yes, use AI to support you, but be yourself.
AI as a tool, but not as no como un reemplazo, no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Talking about recommendation letters, we have a question about recommendation letters. Astarte Cabanillas asks, recommendation letters can be one academic and one professional?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So is there an age limit to participate?
No. We welcome all age classes.
Yes. The documents should have an official translation, or it can be with a simple translation?
It has to be an official translation, and you need to really take care of the guidelines, because if we have to judge your application ineligible, no matter how good it is, we cannot accept it. So make sure you really follow the guidelines. They're set out well on the website. If you're in any doubt, reach out, send us an email.
Perfect. Sebastian Gomez says, thanks so much for the presentation. And the questions are, do we need to provide proof of academic excellence or some kind of documentation to demonstrate it?
Of course, you can show academic excellence. We need your transcript of records. So of course, we have a look at your grades. It would be unfair to say we don't have a look at your grades, but it's only one evaluation criteria. You also look at your motivation. We also look at your personal skills. So do whatever you can to show us that your personal skills, for example, if you were in volunteering, if you won a prize, if you did something really amazing, if you already started a startup, tell us about it, because we can only judge what you tell us. If you don't tell us, we don't know. So please put it in your motivation letter. You can put it into your CV, and of course your grades that are there, but they don't make the whole story.
Okay, perfect. This is an interesting question. How can I best show my interest in research within higher education? Tricky question. Is there an answer for that? Actually, not just one, right?
Convince us that you have a big goal and you want to succeed, and that MARIHE is the right program that helps you to succeed in really reaching your goal. Tell us about your opinion. And you have the essay and the letter of motivation. And the essay actually is on the higher education sector. It can be a personal story. It can be out of your work. And I think in the chat, I saw the question beforehand. The question for the essay does not change. So if you want to already start preparing now, you can use the old question. You will get a new template, but the question will be the same.
Just to add a little bit onto this, Sina and Vivi, sorry. Yeah, Vivi said there are many ways, and coming from Latin America, there are. We have a lot of issues to investigate, a lot of things to improve.
Problemas es lo que sobra.
Problemas hay un montón. Entonces, uno de esos problemas puede ser la motivación y de ahí empezar, o sea, quiero hacer esto por mi país, por mi ciudad, y necesito ganarme esta beca porque quiero volver a mi país a mejorar esto. That could be even your thesis, I don't know, but I think that's a starting point to get the scholarship. As Sina said, you have to show that you're very motivated to get this, and the whys. There are many problems in Latam, so you can just tackle one.
You have a lot of problems from which you can choose. But what I do also recommend is that don't undervalue the value of small impact, because small impact is still impact, and you don't need to change your whole country. But if you change your community, if you can do something like in a specific community or in a specific place that is at your reach, then this is already highly valued, because it's impact. Tangible impact is always valued in this kind of applications. So, yeah.
And please be very concrete, not just, I want to change my country to the better, but that would learn a lot. Why, how, what experience you base this on? What would you really, how could it look like when you achieved what you want to achieve? What would be the ideas? So please be really concrete instead of just listing 10 points that you would like to criticize in higher education, that you would like to change. We want to see a vision. We want to see you really showing us that you have engaged with the topic, that you have engaged with your thoughts, and that you have a vision and aim that you really want to achieve. So please use examples and show us. And of course, those examples are not valid for the whole world. It's fine if they are valid for the context you're talking to us about. And the rest we handle later on during the studies.
Yes. I think this is a question for Yashir, for Diana. What was your professional experience before this program?
So I have a bachelor in teaching English as a foreign language. So I was a teacher for about 10 years. And then I also managed academic programs for 2 years. So I was always into the teaching and learning path in Colombia.
Yes. Yeah, on my case, I have been both in corporate and in higher education. So I was the innovation coordinator of a university in Peru. So that also adds to your profile to be part of already the area of study, or can have the direct experience or impact there. Then it says, what's the minimum experience required to apply? No experience, right? We don't have a minimum experience requirement. Okay, this is an interesting question. As a recent graduate from university, what is the first step to prepare and apply for the Erasmus Mundus? MARIHE, as a recent graduate.
Maybe I would suggest reach early in the process out to possible reviewers and referees, because sometimes it takes time until they can write a letter and you need to provide it by the deadline. If you do not have your degree while applying, there will be a deadline for late submission. Make sure you have your degree by the late submission deadline. And of course, provide all the templates if something is late that you need to provide. We have the same for the English language test. So if you don't manage to secure an appointment, there is the late deadline, but you really have to stick to the late deadline. Really think about what you do. You can also show us your practical experiences in the essay from a student perspective, so you really have the chance to also succeed. Think about what you want to do, why you want to do it, and yeah, tell us your story as everyone else. And convince us that you are a great student. We are there, we like diversity, nationality-wise, but also experience-wise. And of course, having a recent graduate can also enhance the program, because you just have a recent experience within a higher education system from the student perspective. And that, of course, can enrich learning and teaching, for example, can show us future challenges. So go for it and try it. If you don't try, you cannot succeed.
I agree with that. Okay, we have one more question from Yuriko and some questions in the chat, but because of matters of time, let's take Yuriko's question, and then we can read on the chat and leave the answers either in a written way, or we can answer them at the end of the program so that MISEI can also start. Yuriko?
Hello, everyone. First of all, I want to thank you, especially to Viviana, for this meeting and for all the information that you are giving us. My question is related to the age. I understand that you don't have a specific age, like a limit of age to apply for this program, but I have a huge insecurity with my age, because I feel like most of people that apply for this program is younger than me. And I am 31 almost, so I don't know if you can tell me if you actually accept like older people.
I'll tell you something. I was 31 when I started MARIHE. And I was one of the oldest. I wasn't the oldest by the time. I had a classmate who was 34 when he joined. And we were, like, with other two people, the oldest one. We were the plus 30 guys. And yeah, there was a classmate who was 24. She turned 25 while studying. Most of the people were aged 26 to 28. So age, remember, is just a concept. La edad no importa.
Está en tu mente, la edad está en la mente, ¿no?
Sí, la edad está en la mente. So, go on,
Nice.
go ahead. And actually, in this
Thank you
cohort,
so much.
because I have met the people from this cohort, the ones who are joining in October. There is a guy who's 35, and he's starting in October. So age shouldn't be a barrier.
Yeah, in my cohort, we had a friend that was 40, so it's really no problem, the age, yeah. So
Okay, nice. I'm feeling better now.
yeah,
Thank you.
no problem. Okay, there are some more questions in the chat, but we will get to them a bit later. Now let's give the space to MISEI. I welcome Tammy and Alice, that are both here representing the program.
Yes, hello everyone.
Well, first, thank you to, before starting that, thank you to Sina and Diana. You'll stay here so we can still chat and gossip a bit later about Erasmus Mundus. In the meantime, let's talk about MISEI. Okay, Alice, Tammy, welcome.
Okay, so nice to meet you everyone. I'm Alice, I'm the project manager of the MISEI. So first of all, we are in a very different context because the MISEI is very new. So we are actually starting the first cohort right now. So the students have been there for like 2 or 3 weeks, no more. So it's the very beginning, and there are 4 cohorts that are planned. So 3 more to come. the program is in the field of inclusive educational sciences. And you will be studying in at least 3 universities. So the first semester happens in Metz. It's in France. It's the coordinating university. Then the second semester is in Italy, so in Milan. And the third semester is in Switzerland, in Neuchâtel, or again in France. It really depends. During the third semester, you can choose the module. And then in the fourth semester, it's the semester with internship and thesis. And for this one, you can choose wherever you want to go based on your project and what you want to do for your master thesis. Then what else can I say about the partners? I think that's one very important aspect. But the associated partners, we have more than 30 associated partners in different fields, and they also offer internships and seminars during the year. So you will have the classes plus seminars with the partners, and those partners range from university like academic partners to NGOs, to also private companies and also big representatives. So the idea of the partners is to see what actually inclusion means in real life somehow. How does it translate to practice in a professional life? One very important thing is that this program, and it's not the case of most Erasmus Mundus, so that's the main difference, it's bilingual. It's the teaching is in English and French. It depends on the professors, on the countries, but it's really like high level in English and French. So it's necessary to speak both. We provide support and classes, but still it can be from 0 level. So it's really important. And also during the selection process, we don't require necessarily official certificates of languages or whatever. It can be an explanation of why you speak English, French, and the context and everything. But just don't lie, because then if we select you for interviews, we will ask questions and we will talk in both languages. And if it's not enough for master's level, we will see it. So yeah, that's a very important point that is different from the rest. What can I say also about career opportunities? Well, of course, it's the first year, so we don't know yet where our students will be after. However, I can tell you maybe about the profiles that they have, and also one thing is that for sure we will have some opportunities with the associated partners. So by doing the internships that will be facilitated by the fact that we have all the partners, it's also easier to have some job opportunities. And for the profile, we have students. Okay, I can answer about the age also. I think we are the best because we have someone who's more than 60. So there is no limit at all. Yes, we have people from very diverse backgrounds and diverse ages. So it's like from 20 to 60. So we really value diversity of the group, because we think that inclusion and inclusive education is very interdisciplinary, and we want to see diverse expertises on that. So we have people from linguistic fields, from teaching, from design, from bank sector, some people who have been like head of inclusion department of bank for some time. we have people from psychology, sociology, so it's quite diverse, and we don't really have a criteria of field. Of course, some fields adapt more, but for example, if you come from engineering, but that you can show that what you've done in your life has something to do with the questions related to inclusion, you can be eligible to. It really, we don't focus only on diploma and academic background. And that's something I can say about the application. What we value the most, I think, is exactly all those specificities that you can have in your experience that will be different from because if we just look at academic experience and even professional experience, as we said before, it's very competitive. And last year, even if it was the very beginning, we received almost 600 applications, and we expect to have each year more because it's going to be more known. So, and very good applications. So only like your professional career and academic background, even if it's great, there will be many others which will be great too. So that's not enough to make the difference. So we focus a lot on everything else that you have done in your life, either it be volunteering or personal projects that you've conducted, or something that shows your identity, like who you truly are. Yeah, like I think you spoke before about telling a story. It's a bit the same. That's what really makes the difference. So no AI either, because we see that immediately and it's not personalized at all. Yeah, that's really where we see something different. Then I don't know what I haven't covered. Student profile, program overview, maybe. No, I think I've said more or less. I will leave the floor to Tammy, who's one of our first cohort of students, so fresh experience.
From Brazil.
Yes, can you see I have my flag here that I brought with me, of course. Thank you for having me. I thought about talking a little bit about my background so the people that are watching know, and I will talk about age as well. So I marked your name, Yuriko. Don't worry, we will talk about that. And also the process that we have had until now. So actually, I'm graduated in languages, but before that, I studied business. And this is a very interesting thing because when I came across the opportunity of applying for the MISEI, I didn't know exactly if my experience in my other career in business would help. But I think that this is what Alize was mentioning, like our own unique paths. They are the things that make us interesting or unique for this program. So and I already had an experience of 10 years working with education. My students, they're mostly people that are immigrating to other countries. And that's, I think, how the context of inclusivity came, because they needed to be included in the new countries that they were entering, be that through schools and in their families, or just be part of the community in general. And then now talking about the process, I saw the MISEI program in December of last year. And then I already started organizing the application. So I did my TOEFL. I think this is a very important thing to do if you have the opportunity, because then you can have a real document that proves your level of English. I already had my French certificate that I had done the other year. And then because it's a lot of documents, you have to find letters of recommendation, which was a new thing for me. In Brazil, the professors really don't talk about the letters of recommendation. So I would start this the earliest possible. And then, of course, we had in March the interviews. And in April already, we got the messages that we were accepted in the program. I said we because right in April, we already started having French classes, which I think were the thing that made me say, okay, I really want to work with MISEI, because I participated in other programs, but I could see really the difference in the organization. I saw that both the program and the University of Lorraine, they really, really were organized and offering many lectures for the new students. And because I was coming to study for 2 years in another continent, I really felt safe in this environment because they provided many lectures about all the process for international students, what you have to do. And then the French classes with our new colleagues, they made us already close even before we left our countries. So when we arrived here in September, this was amazing because we already knew each other, and we've been having a very, very amazing experience. Like Alize said too, I'm marked here. I think we have we have 17 nationalities. It's 5 people from Latin America, but we have also all around the globe. And so 17 nationalities. And everybody different background. The other colleague that is Brazilian, she is 60 years old, and I'm 33. So guys, stop that. It's okay. And I'm very excited because also now we're going to start our Italian classes together again as a group, because the next semester we are going to Milan. Of course, the classes will be in English, but, we are very motivated to learn a little bit more and explore more Italy. So we're going to take some Italian classes as well. So I guess I can open now some space for you to ask whatever you want to ask.
Yes, very interesting that you're, sorry, Alice?
Yeah, just something that I didn't mention that I want to insist on, the notion of inclusion, which is the main topic of the program. In your application and in the people that we seek, we really want people who somehow think out of the box. The idea of a master in inclusive education is to question actually the system and the systems in the different countries and how things work at the time. So we really seek people who think differently, who have a different view on the world. And because sometimes during the interviews, we had, for example, great written applications. And then when we asked during online interviews, like, what does inclusion mean for you? And if you just say like, we think it's important to be inclusive, that's not enough. We really want to, that's where we also seek the difference. What does it mean for you to work on inclusion? So yeah, that's it.
Great. I really like this vision of searching people who thinks differently. This is what we actually need. Okay. Thank you, Tammy, and thank you, Alice, for your presentation. Do we have any questions? ¿Tenemos preguntas de la audiencia? You can raise your hands now if you have any questions for Tammy or for Alice about MISEI. Otherwise, I do have some questions for Tammy, actually. More than questions, it's a commentary. How come you're learning so many languages?
I don't know. I think I just like to meet new people. For example, my Spanish is Chilean because I worked and volunteered in hostels. So yes, I think, but today at lunch, Alice was with us. It's okay. It will happen sometimes. We mix all the languages in one sentence, but I think it's normal, and it's also fascinating because I am sure that in 1 month, the brain can, organize itself, and we can do it. We have children that are alphabetized in 3 languages. It's okay, guys. We got this.
Yeah, super nice. We have a question from Mariela. She says, is there any consideration for candidates with disabilities? And also, is there a research track within MISEI that explores gender and disability issues?
Yes and yes. We have people with disabilities, and I mean, it's not a criteria for recruitment or anything. Like, everybody can apply. And from the European Union, we also have money-wise, we have a budget if this needs any adaptation or equipment or whatever for people with disabilities. And then we have also counseling and everything at the university. So yes, there is that. And about gender and disability, it's part of the track, yes. So the way it is organized is mainly the first semester is more about theory and concepts, so that we have everybody on the same page, let's say, because everyone comes from different levels, backgrounds, ideas. So concept-wise, trying to have everybody on the same page. And then from the second semester, it gets more specialized in Milan and then in Neuchâtel. And there are some classes that focus more on gender issues, disability issues, migration issues. So it gets more specialized. And also with the seminars, with external and associated partners who come, so we try to have seminars from people from very diverse fields and professional careers, and we have some who intervene about disability, gender, and all.
Great. We have other question from Ana Gamboa. What is the minimum French language level required to apply for a program, for the program?
It's more or less B2, which is the same as for the English level. The program is really bilingual, so we need to speak both to be able to follow the classes in both. And even B2 can be a bit difficult, but with the extra support, it can be feasible then.
Yeah, okay, great. And then there's another question, is French a prerequisite to apply? Then we would say yes, right? It's a prerequisite to apply, right? Yeah. Then we have a question of Melanie for Tammy. Tammy, how did you prepare for the TOEFL?
So I actually prepare students for the TOEFL. So I'm a TOEFL teacher. So talk to me later if you want. But yeah, but the TOEFL is a thing that requires some preparation. So if you want to apply for the next year, really, I would recommend start now. It's not impossible, not at all, but it requires practice and repetition. That's all.
Yes, I have, for the ones who want to prepare for the TOEFL, there is in my YouTube channel a video where I share my tips of how I did it, and I share as well a platform that is free, where you can practice and practice and practice and practice and practice and practice and practice until you get it. Because at the end, these standardized exams are basically all about practice. So you can search TOEFL in my YouTube channel, and you will most likely find the video. Great. Then we have other questions. Are there trans students accepted for this incoming class? From Luciano. Hi, Luciano. Hello. This is maybe for Lisa.
Of course, that's not a criteria, is there, to select people. So yes, of course.
Yeah. Maybe one thing that I would like to add is that it's interesting how we don't have any project that is the same. We had in our first week the presentation. Each new student had a poster prepared, and I was sure that the topic of immigration would be touched by many other colleagues because it's something that is so mentioned now. But it's amazing that everyone has a different approach. So we have people that talk about mental health, about women in the workplace. Really, it is a variety. So I think if you want to touch any specific point and discuss inclusivity, this can be super cool, super interesting.
Great. I just shared with you what you were asking in the website. Sorry, in the chats about the YouTube channel. Okay, we have more questions here. Trans student YouTube channel. Okay, hello. I know the application will open on October 10th. When does this close? By the way, thank you for answering my questions by email too. That's very kind. This was Sara Lucia.
Okay, we actually haven't decided yet exactly when we will close the date. It will be written once we open on October 10th. It's probably gonna be until January, maybe something like that. But we haven't decided yet the exact date. But there will be a few months to apply, earlier than last year for sure, because last year was the first group, so we were a bit late with everything. But this year it will be earlier. So.
Yeah, but it's still great. You have 600 applications on your first year of program. This was a very nice number, right?
Yes, but I must also insist on the fact that unfortunately we also received many applications that were from people who didn't speak French at all, which means in this case, no matter how great the profile is, as it's a bilingual program, it's not possible. So yeah, that's why also this year we've added a formula, like a questionnaire, a pre-questionnaire in the recruitment, that before being able to apply, people must answer yes and no or no to 3 to 4 questions they will still be able to apply even if the answers are no, but it's a warning, because if it's no, it means that probably you don't fit the criteria. So.
Okay. Great. Do we have more questions? From the subjects offered, we could only choose one, right? From the subjects offered in MISEI.
I'm not sure what you mean by the subjects offered.
Oh, yeah, I was reading like the semesters and the subjects offered, but there are many, and I was saying it is only 30 credits. So I was wondering if we should choose just one between psychologie sociale de la diversité or méthodes. So
it depends.
It's just one, or we would see everything.
You will see a bit of everything, because that's the point of Master on Inclusion. It's not specific to one field. So you will follow some classes that are part of psychology department, others that are part of sociology departments. It depends. And then in the first semester, for example, everybody has the same schedule. But then in the other semesters, when you choose a country, obviously you choose also a sort of lessons, because they don't have the same focus in Milan, in Metz, and in Neuchâtel. So.
Great. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Alice. I have one last question to both Alice and Tammy, because I haven't seen it in the chat or from the audience. Like, so what are your specific, if you had to give the 3 top tips that you have for application at MISEI, what would it be? What would they be?
Alice, do you wanna? I would say start with the letter of recommendation, because it's one point that logistically speaking takes longer to get, and really talk to your professors, really explain your project so they can make sure to write a nice and meaningful recommendation letter. I think believe in your path and try to show it in your letter of motivation. Try to demonstrate that everything you did has the connection with the program. I think that all my colleagues, in some point, we doubted some parts of our career. For example, for me, it was when I needed to explain why I did this switch from business to languages, but I managed to demonstrate, and it's actually a very nice process when you manage to do it, because you are also learning with yourself this. And then I said, yes, okay, so it makes sense, that story that leads to this. You have to tell, like Diana said, tell the story through your letter of motivation, how all your experiences and how your future projects, they are aligned with that. So, and then try to do that again for the interview. The interview is, of course, a stressful moment because it's an interview. But if you have very clearly in your mind that what are the points you like about the program, so study the program of the course, of course, and why you think you are a good candidate, make that clear, and talk about your personal points too. Don't just talk about your job application, your job part, or your academic part. Try to show your unique aspects. I think that's it.
I think those are great tips, especially the ones for the interview. And here I would like to ask Alice, maybe to demystify some things. Are you searching in an interview for realness or for a full professional profile? Because I think in an interview, one of the things that make people more nervous are like, how should I be so serious? Should I be not so serious? And this is a big part of doubt for applicants. So what can you tell us from your perspective?
I think, well, actually, we seek in the interview the same thing as we seek in the first stage, which is showing your personality, being creative, original, and showing who you are. And about my tips, I will say, yeah, that focus on what makes you different, and why those notions of inclusion. Like, truly, what does that mean to you, and why is it a subject that you really want to investigate further at master's level, and maybe even further in research or everything? And so during the interview, again, last year we received like more or less 600 applications, and we had 80 or 85 interviews, which means that at some point for us, it's also very boring and exhausting. So again, if you just repeat, my diploma is this one and I have worked in that won't make you different from the others. So you need to think, how can you catch our attention in like 15 minutes in some way that the others haven't done among 85 people that we are receiving like that, 18 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. So yeah, showing, yeah, who you are.
And particularly in this master that is of inclusion, I think you have a lot of freedom, right, to be who you really are in this case.
Exactly, that's what we are seeking. So you asked, do we want people in like formally dressed in suit, or in like, I don't know, with flowers in the air? Well, actually, we don't care. If it's who you are, just show it. Just be. What we want is that people like somehow assume who they are and are ready to share it and to openly share it with the others, with the group, and in their projects.
That's great. That's great. We are all for inclusion. And what do you think about, so what can you tell us about what you're expecting in MARIHE's videos, Sina? What kind of, how original should they be? What are the levels?
First of all, it will be the first point in time when our reviewers can see you. So we also judge on your communication skills. So show us something of you. We don't care about a video that doesn't show yourself. We want to get to know you. We want you to talk. We do not need a professional video. So use your phone, make a video of yourself. We really don't care about the quality as long as you're audible and visible. And convince us of your motivation. We want to see the spark in your eyes. We want to, again, hear your story. And there, it's not about academic excellence, evaluation criteria for the video, and we will now raise the percentage, so the video will be higher in the overall ranking. We want to see your motivation and your communication skills in the video. So we had videos with everything. People standing in front of a building that was important to them, people showing themselves in the environment, sitting on a bed. So it can be everything, but show us who you are.
Great.
And convince us that we need you on the program.
Great. Okay, you have to be creative in both videos and interviews. And yeah, my advice, I think the general advice that we have here, the common advice where we agree on fully, is that you have to be yourself and have a real motivation for the subject that you're applying to. When the motivation is real, it shows, and when it's not real, it also shows. So that's the best advice I can give you here at the moment. Okay.
And I think we really do see if you send one application to a lot of programs. We can tell the difference. So be specific about the program you apply for. Don't make one application apply for all Erasmus Mundus programs that would fit you, because that will really decrease your chances of getting in any of those programs. So be specific about why you want to have exactly that program.
Yes,
Yeah, and don't get the title wrong, because that's also very AI. We got many applications that was MISEI, and between brackets, something translated that was not the translation of the program at all. It was something
terrible,
different.
de verdad. Dale ganas, pues, para aunque sea, o sea, cambien el título, se pasaron, ¿no? Sí, claro. Great.
So this thing of, yeah, we also had in the applicants that it was something written the same for every Erasmus Mundus, more or less. And so it's not specific, and it doesn't help, I think, for any of the Mundus that you apply to, because it's not specific.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. Well, thank you very much, Sina, Alice, Tami, Diana, for your time here. I don't know if the audience has any more questions. You can raise your hands. We still have some time. But if not, well, it's always a pleasure to have you here with us. And this is an initiative that we started last year out of, again, curiosity to see what happens. It went super well last year. We are expecting for this year to be even better. And from our side in personal branding, we will continue, and I will continue personally, because this is what I wrote on my MARIHE motivation letter as well, what I would do after the program. So I am basically fulfilling my motivation letter. So I will keep on doing this, and I am always happy to receive you. And yeah, here you have a platform where you can always connect with Latin American students who are interested in these very important topics for the world. So welcome to the family of personal branding. Alice, well, MARIHE is already a part, but MISEI is a new add-in to the family. So yeah, okay. I think we are over with this. There are no new questions. The age limit is always a recurrent question. There's no age limit. I think I will add it to the presentations. No age limit on MARIHE or on Erasmus Mundus. But thank you very much to Alice, Sina, Diana, and Tami for your time. And thank you to Emiliano. I don't know if Emiliano is still here, but thank him and to the European Union in Peru, who always supports us. And well, we actually are collaborating fully for a couple of years to take this information to you. Gracias a todos los que se conectaron. Bueno, bienvenidos a esta edición 2025 de las Erasmus Mundus Latam Talk. Se vienen muchos más programas. El jueves vienen programas de diseño, emprendimiento e innovación. Vamos a tener a SDSI, vamos a tener a EMI y vamos a tener a Responsible Futures. El jueves son 3 programas que también va a estar súper interesante. Así que, bueno, eso está muy ligado a educación, innovación. Al final todo se diseña, todo es transversal. Así que también los esperamos ahí. Bueno, conmigo hasta el jueves, and with the rest until the next time. I hope we have you for next year. We are preparing some surprises for next year as well that I will let you know in the meantime, but be sure that this will happen again and again and again and again. So a big hug to you all. Abrazos para todos, un abrazo y nada, nos vemos prontito. Eso es todo por hoy. Adiós.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias.